I'm Nicole Alvarez, and this is probably one of the cooler things that has ever happened to me. Jerry from the Misfits, the original Misfits, are playing Coachella tonight, and you are so cool that you're sitting here in a trailer with me just hours before you're going to go on stage.
Yeah,
Why would you do that?
Well, we started early. I was here at 6 a.m. So.
You were?
Yeah, I like to set it up myself.
It's really cool to walk all over the place and see people of all ages wearing Misfits t-shirts. So stoked to see you guys. Does that make you emotional?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah?
You know? Yeah, I tell them it's my mother.
So what punk rock shaped you?
Back in the day when we first started, we really listened to 1950s music and stuff like that as
Like
kids.
what?
Oh, Buddy Holly and Little Richard.
Like a Runaround Sue situation,
Yes,
too?
Dion.
Yeah,
Love
my dad
Dion.
raised me on that, too.
Yeah, well, my mom collected 45s, so she used to
Okay.
play them when I was a little kid. And I was really excited about getting into a band. I wanted to go to college and play ball, but instead I wound up joining the band and taking it from there. And it was nice because the music that we were playing in the Misfits, the punk rock, was pretty much just like 50s music.
Take me back to your earliest memories of the Misfits, like the very humble beginnings. What do you remember most clearly about those days? Fondly.
Well, we used to practice in our garage, and a lot of the bands from the West Coast, like Social Distortion, who was like 14 years old, would come and stay at our place. And we pretty much got together through a mutual friend who was a drummer. And he came up to me and he said, "Hey, we're starting a band. It's brand new." I was playing bass for about a month. And what happened was that I met Glenn and we started rehearsing. And the next thing you know, we put out a record and bingo, next thing we were on the road.
What was the first song you ever wrote?
I think She was the first song I learned. And Bullet, believe it or not.
Yeah, first show you ever played?
CBGB's.
CBGB's.
At 17.
What about LA shows? Do you have any memories of like some cool LA shows?
Yeah, we played. We had riots at a couple of them, but
I believe that.
Yeah, but I would say the Whiskey A Go Go is probably the first recollection. We played not Florentine Gardens. The Fillmore up in San Francisco.
There's been many iterations of the Misfits. What, if anything, hasn't changed throughout all those iterations of the Misfits?
Well, the fury, the attitude, but most importantly, the image and the horror link, because that's Glenn was selling comic books when we first started the band, and I was working in the machine shop, so I wound up building all our stuff and coming up with the hair and the image and making the spikes and stuff like that. So.
What do you think of the state of punk rock nowadays?
I think it evolved pretty well. I mean, when you look at it. We started a whole subculture. At first when I went to see the Ramones, they were hanging out at CBGB's. I walked in and I looked around the room and I go, "Oh, there's one." And there's when I heard about these guys. Because Glenn would take me out, me and him would go out. And that's the one thing that I really wanted to do with this band was keep it to its basic element. So.
Do you have any other fun memories you can share with Glenn? About Glenn with us?
I don't know how fond he would think it is, but I remember when he got arrested in London.
What do you remember about that?
Well, I knew Sid Vicious's mom. I happened to be there the night he died. So I made him dinner, actually.
You made Sid Vicious dinner?
Yeah,
me
and his mom made him spaghetti bolognese.
The night of?
Of.
Dude.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I left a little early. It was getting ugly, and I wasn't about that. So I helped his mom, and when we went to England, we were on tour with the Damned, and the guy was stiffing us for our pay, so we walked off the tour. And I called Sid's mom, and I was like, Ann, I said, we had to walk off this tour. This son of a bitch didn't pay us, and I'm not dealing with that. So what wound up happening was that she said, "Hey, why don't you come down to Canterbury with me?"
Oh, wow.
And so I went down to Canterbury with her, and Glenn went to go see the Jam at the Rainbow.
Yeah.
And he got into a fight with a bunch of skinheads. And wound up, I get a phone call. It says, "Oh, Glenn's in jail." I said, "You're kidding." I said, "Ann, we got to get back up to London." So he wrote London Dungeon when he was in jail.
Wow. Was it hard to get all of you together to play this festival?
No, not really. I mean, we go really back to the beginning with Golden Voice. I mean,
yeah. Yes, you do.
Yeah, I mean, we were probably one of the first bands they were booking, and it was probably one of the first real companies that were booking with, because we used to book our own shows. So.
Does your legacy surprise you? Because again, there will never be a time when there's not people wearing your logo.
Can I be honest with you?
Yeah.
It does surprise me.
Really? Why?
Well, because we didn't plan on it. When we got together, we were doing it because we loved it. And I still love it. You know, that's why, like I was telling you, 6 a.m., I was first one here. No, we had no security. We drove right up to the stage.
Wow.
So,
So you seem very grounded still. So it's never really gotten to your head.
no, I think that's the most important thing is to stay grounded.
Okay.
You know?
What else would you like your legacy to be?
Well,
That you did an interview with KROQ hours before
well,
hitting the stage at
I've been
Coachella.
listening to KROQ forever.
That's amazing.
You know, so yeah, when they told me KROQ, I said, yeah, I got
Yeah.
that. I'll do
Oh
it.
my God, that's
I'll do it.
amazing.
So, yeah, I think that, I think our legacy is something that's going to stand the test of time. I mean, if you look at things that are iconic today, like, for example, if you looked at, like the Rolling Stones logo.
Yeah. Yes,
Yes,
as
and they
well.
had said they were playing 50-something years, and they said, well, we've been playing 50-something years, but we've only actually played 2 years. The rest is standing around waiting.
True.
So.
I mean, you're the only band besides Prince. Prince was the only other artist that had his logo on the bill.
I heard that, but I
Yes.
heard that was his name.
Yeah, Miles? No. That's not the point. The point is, that is very cool, staring at the poster and seeing that that's how iconic you are.
Yeah, that has a lot of meaning for us because that was from Famous Monsters,
Yeah,
inspired
yeah,
by.
yeah.
Yeah, and everybody's saying, "Oh, you got your logo on there."
It's pretty cool.
I said, "Well, we were there when it started."
It was the talk of the town.
Oh.
As soon as that poster dropped, it was the talk of the town.
Well, thank you.
What are you looking forward to the most tonight when you get on stage with your friends, your brothers?
Trying to have perfection. We've been working on this, getting ready for this
That
show.
really does matter, perfection. What do you consider perfection to be?
Being able to go out and let it all out, and have the people
Feel
get
it.
the concussion.
Feel it.
Yeah.
And they will. There's a lot of people excited for you. And again, I want to thank you for stopping by.
Well, thank you.
KROQ, the Misfits. It all just makes sense. It has been a true
Nicole,
honor.
it's a pleasure.
Thank you.
God bless you.
I'm Nicole Alvarez, Jerry from the Misfits.
Jerry only.
It's KROQ.